Welcome to today's episode of Shoot the Shot. I'm Adam Linkenauger alongside the great
Alex Jones.
How's it going, man?
Can't complain. How about yourself?
Good. I'm feeling better.
That's good.
Yesterday was tough. It was bad. You know, still half the office downstairs is not looking too great. It's still a little sick thing going on downstairs.
I walked in, everybody was knocked out, indisposed.
Zero work happening. Everyone's just laid up.
Walked in there like this.
Right. I don't blame you. So got some games to talk about today. Want to kind of stick with what we were doing yesterday of just going through this game by game. Mm-hmm. You know, where the season just started. The whole preseason, it was just drama. I'm just ready to talk basketball.
For sure.
You know, so we had 4 games last night. It was an entertaining night. It truly was, from more or less start to finish, because you had Detroit in actually a pretty close game with Cleveland. You had Portland and Dame doing something that was just unbelievable. We had the Celtics and the Oklahoma Thunder, by far game of the night in my mind. And then an LA-Denver matchup that's a really, really good matchup. So we'll take this game by game, step by step. First off, let me shout out Spencer Pugh, our producer behind the computer here. How's it going, man? Never give you any love, so wanted to give you some love, man. Let's hop right in. Cleveland Cavaliers, Detroit Pistons, man. What did you see in a 110-103 win by Detroit?
I saw a Andre Drummond, 22 points and 20 rebounds. I might have that reversed. Hold on, let me double check that. Excuse me, 26 points,
22 boards, 2020.
Yeah.
You know, he had a stretch. I want to say it was last season or maybe the year before where he was popping off some 2020 games. He's a player that I feel could do this consistently.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong, that's an incredible feat. But I think that with his size, with his mobility, he has a huge advantage in the league, especially, again, what we were talking about all this week was this small ball copycat league of the NBA that we're in today where, you know, we have teams rolling out with 6'8" centers and 6'9" centers. He should have a huge advantage offensively.
Against all of them.
Yeah, against practically about everyone until a Boogie Cousins gets back, until, you know, I'm even thinking of most centers that have the height.
But just don't have that athleticism or
I mean, you know,
size.
like talking about a JaVale McGee. I mean, he was just getting bullied by anyone with a body, you know, over the last couple games. So I think that Drummond specifically has such an advantage. And he's playing at a time where, again, I think we're in that small ball style of basketball, but I don't think it's going to last more than just a few more years. I think the centers are going to make a return because NBA teams are going to see players like Drummond can have success and have pretty dramatic success as teams get smaller.
Yeah, definitely. And we cannot discount Blake Griffin as well. Double-double, 26 and 10. You know, I'm happy with Blake Griffin's, you know, progress and his contribution to Detroit.
You know, he was thrown into a crap situation. He had to go to a team, leave LA of all places, go to a team that he probably, I think it's safe to say at this point, didn't want to go to, didn't want to be a part of, was upset. He's making the best of the situation, and this is a week out from where a lot of large publications were questioning Blake Griffin. Mm-hmm. He had gotten blocked by a rookie twice, I believe once preseason and then once again in the regular season. Not sure who that was, but maybe it'll come to me. But threw him twice. Not the greatest player. Big guy, long guy. Just threw Blake twice on 2 different dunk attempts. And the media literally started questioning, is he losing him? I mean, we're talking about a 29-year-old Blake Griffin, I believe. Yeah. He's still young. He's still youthful. They're questioning his athleticism. Like they made it sound like he was 36.
And that's not Blake, you know. And one thing that we also got to take into accounting, Detroit is 4-0 right now. Must be something in the water.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
I couldn't resist that, man.
You're wild, man.
I definitely couldn't resist that.
Well, they are balling, man. They are playing out. Let's talk about the other side. What's in the water in Cleveland? 0-5 right now. It's more like what's not in the water, because there is no LeBron James in sight, and the whole community, the team, the coaching staff, the owner they're all familiar with the fact that this is not a good look. This is not a good team. And there's just no momentum for Cleveland in sight. And I think before it gets better, I think it's going to get worse.
Yeah, definitely.
I look at Cleveland Cavaliers right now, and I'm thinking of, hey, when are we going to start our process? When are we going to start our multi-year rebuild where it makes more sense? Because right now, it just isn't going to happen. And until I feel you get the LeBron stench off, which may be a change in players, it may be a change in coaching staff, it may be a whole new plan, but something's going to have to happen in Cleveland before this ever gets turned around.
I'll tell you this right now. How Cleveland ends up this year should be testament for LeBron's MVP for this year, for this season, quite frankly. It's crazy how one player, not two or three, but one player can cause this such of a ripple.
Right? Well, we're talking about a team that right now looks like there's no chance they'll be a playoff contender.
And they were in the finals last year. So we'll see. Nothing really stands out from Cleveland right now. Kevin Love is out.
Well, and I think that's fair to mention, because he is going to be the guy. I'm expecting Kevin Love to look more like Timberwolves Kevin Love, with the numbers, double-doubles consistently, 15-plus rebounds a game style of Kevin Love. Physically, will he get to that? I'm not sure. He's physically a much different player. But he's going to have to be the guy. And if we definitely need to mention that there was no Kevin Love in this game. And they did only lose by 7, though I think the game was never, to me, very close. It just didn't feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers were going to ever run away with it.
Not at all.
All right, so again, I think Detroit's a team to watch. I think that, you actually called them earlier as a team that you think was going to make a good run. So I think that was a good call. I wish I could take credit for that, but I was the one that said, I don't believe in it. I don't think that they're going to be there. All right, so let's move on. Portland Trailblazers, Orlando Magic. We've got a 3-1 Blazers. They're playing well.
Yeah.
Magic 2-3 now, dropped to 2-3. Portland drops them 128-114. Tell me about Lillard, man.
Damian Lillard, the man from the Bay, to quote another great Bay man, Mac Dre, he was in the building and he was feeling himself.
Were you rapping?
Accidentally.
Bay, Dre.
Yeah, just a little bit. The song goes, "I'm in the building and I'm feeling myself," and definitely Damian Lillard was feeling himself. 34 points. 34 in a quarter.
You know what's interesting about that? Did you hear the why? The why he blew up. It was because there was a heckler in the first half, more or less just giving him hell. And he literally said to the media that it was because of the heckler that I wanted to come out and show out in the second half. It reminds it goes back to Spike, the Reggie choke. Dude, you got to watch yourself if you're a fan, a courtside or around courtside fan, because you actually can play a role in the game.
Yeah.
It's considerably as much as the dude in Chicago who caught the baseball. It's obviously that's a much more tangible and physical way to screw up your team's success. But this is a great example that these elite level scorers, they don't need any extra motivation.
Not at all.
So you've got to be careful. And here's a great example of a team that if that heckler would not have shown up, had they been sick that night or had something to do or just not been in the mood to heckle, this game could have been different.
Dame probably wouldn't have went off like
that.
Yeah. And just to add to that heckler thing, you got situations like Malice in the Palace. I just love that video.
Gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Ron Artest, just going in the crowd and just going off.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah,
I like this response a lot better.
Right? I just, for whatever reason, pictured Brandon Ingram just showing up in Orlando and punching the heckler. I don't know why. All right, so Portland, 3-1 right now. Portland to me was one of those teams that were kind of getting forgotten about in the playoff run. and definitely in any form of Western Finals contention. You know, it seemed like there's just no way that they had a chance of maybe not even being a playoff team. I think that it's pretty clear to say, even this early, that they're not going away.
No, man, and I get so tired of hearing that. Like, you got to give Damian Lillard credit for who he is and how he plays it, and just the fact that young man is here. He's been here, and he's showing you year after year that he's getting better, you know, consistently.
And he's being disrespected year after year. I mean, it's hell for this guy to make an all-star team.
Yeah, which is crazy.
You know, he's, you know, questionably a third level all-star NBA player, like, you know, like third team. Like, this is a good player. This is a great player that he's just, I don't understand how after so many years he continues to get disrespected. And whatever it is, though, it may be a blessing in disguise because it clearly motivates him. This is a good team, and I think that the Blazers have one of the top backcourts, hands down,
in the league.
Outside of, you know, the obvious. You can't put them ahead of Steph. And, but outside of that, any other
Houston,
OKC. Well, you know, that's, you know, I mean, if we were saying 2s and 3s, sure, but not 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you even I don't put Kyrie and Jaylen Brown up there. Kyrie, yes, Jaylen Brown's getting there, but yeah, I mean, I can't really think of another or a better combination as a 1-2 punch than Dame and CJ.
Right, and props to CJ, man. Talk about a guy that kind of had that video game-esque kind of career to get where he is. He kind of came out of nowhere, and he earned it. And he's just
a my player.
Yeah, he's a my player. He really is. He earned it, and he's just playing incredible. All right, let's move on to game of the night, man. We got the Celtics, the Thunder. Thunder right now, 0-4.
It's dry in Oklahoma right now, man.
Is Paul George? You want to do the joke again, man?
Paul. He is definitely George Paul. Shout out to Skip Bayless.
So how long will it be before Paul George realizes that he made a big mistake?
Probably today.
Today, woke up with that 0-4 hangover, like, you know, watching Westbrook shoot 25% from the field, thinking, what the hell did I just do?
5 of 20. And tried to take the game-tying shot from 3 like he was the man.
Right.
Is this your guy, OKC? Is this your guy? Right now, I'd hate to be a fan in Oklahoma City. I mean, you guys blew a lead. You allowed Boston to go on a 16-1 run. You guys were not productive. Early on, I saw some lob passes, some good tries of getting everybody involved. But at the end of the day, your superstar, your go-to guy, cannot go 5 and 20. At what point do you sit him down and say, all right, look, we need to try something different? You made 5 shots out of 20 attempts. Excuse me, was it 25 attempts?
Let's see here. Let me pull it up. 5 for 20.
5 for 20.
0 for 5 from threes. Paul George can't point fingers. Paul George went 2 for 10 from downtown. 2 for 10. This was a 25% three-point shooting team. Mind you that they were in the lead going into the third quarter, a commanding lead. Had they just taken great shots, been smart, drove the ball, but they settled. They wanted to just start firing up deep shots, and they lost this game more than Boston won it.
At what point do you say maybe Melo wasn't the issue?
Hey, I mean,
at what point?
I don't see, you know, sure you can argue it's early in the season. They're finding their flow. I'm sorry. Screw that. This team is way too talented.
This is a 4th seed team last year.
Yep.
4th seed. Yep. And you're 0-4.
Exactly. We're talking about a Paul George that plus minus went -16.
Dry Thunder.
Grant, -5.
Dry Thunder.
Adams, -2. Russell Westbrook, -5. Dennis Schroeder, -12. And the list goes on. Poor basketball. And let me just say that Boston has not been overly impressive.
No, not at all.
You know, I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, they played Boston." Boston's not impressive.
They're still trying to work out their pieces.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you have to think they have 2 relatively new players in their starting lineup right now with Kyrie and with Gordon Hayward. These are players that weren't around at the end of the year last year, with Hayward not being around the entire season. So this team has a lot to work out. Don't get me wrong, they're talented, they have pieces, but a Gordon Hayward went negative 13, and a Jaylen Brown went negative 11. You know, their only like really, really hot spot that I saw were, well, two. Jason Tatum.
Oh, man.
Yep. And then Marcus Morris, Moore's twin.
Oh, ice in his veins.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
He was the one that sealed the dagger.
Right, exactly. And I do want to mention Marcus Smart off the bench. Didn't put up points, but played fairly well. He defended well. He not statistically. He didn't do a lot statistically, but overall, I liked the way he played. But again, I'm not overly impressed with Boston, and OKC looks like trash.
Oh, I do want to mention one more thing.
What's up?
How do you get dunked on by the sophomore? Come on, Paul George.
Dude,
George Paul.
He got him.
George Jefferson. Whatever. You look like an old man out there, man.
You know, he does look like he's got age.
Yeah.
He really does. He's got that old face.
Yeah, it's sad, man. Tatum just comes down the lane and just puts you on a poster.
You know, Jason Tatum, man, has got some incredible footwork.
He been working with Kobe.
You know, like, I mean, you can tell because he's got footwork that's well beyond his years. You know, I'm used to seeing, you know, footwork from that unless you're 30 or over, it's not happening.
Yeah.
Where he's got it, and he's got it early in his career. He's going to be scary, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, just mentioning one last thing of Boston, I really want to see what the front office does when these players all reach a point where they're at a contract extension.
Yeah.
You've got quite a few players that are max contract caliber that obviously Boston's not going to be able to afford. So I'm interested to see what happens there, because right now they have some incredible young talent, along with some high level top of the NBA. You know, mid-age talent.
Yeah.
You know, upper 20s or mid-20s. So it's going to be interesting to see. All right, let's take it down. We've got one more, man. The Denver Nuggets and the LA Lakers. LeBron had his 74th career triple-double. Good to see him getting a triple-double. You know, to me, he's playing himself into shape. Sure, physically he looked, but I'm talking more from like a basketball skills standpoint. I feel like he's getting better game to game. We talked yesterday about how he's killing me with the missed layups. Seems like he's starting to get it figured out some, but tell me what you saw, man.
Well, I just see a LeBron that's patient, that's picking his spots and doing what he can to kind of facilitate the offense and get everybody going in motion. In that game, he doesn't want another Cleveland situation where he's literally the guy that has to do everything every night. All the time.
Yeah, that'll could take years off of his career.
Exactly.
Yeah, he also, I want to mention something with LeBron that's been going on is his shooting has not been great. Especially his three-point shooting. He was 1 for 5 last night, 20%. It's kind of been a consistent, around the consistent average for him over the first 4 games of the season, which he'll work it out. You know, if you look at his career shooting, it is constantly improved and been good from three-point range. Never great.
Yeah.
That's not his game, but he's always been a consistent, solid threat from three. Definitely in his second run at Cleveland, for sure. So my question for you is this going to be something that he needs to put more emphasis on as his age continues to, go up? He's going to be 34 in December, a week after me, mind you. Which is, it's kind of depressing to listen to people talk, oh, LeBron's getting old, LeBron's getting old.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, I feel for you. But no, all jokes aside, honestly, I don't even know if the three-point line is where LeBron needs to be. You saw as Kobe aged, he moved more.
Jordan, Kobe.
Closer to the basket, post up, size up moves, and then, the dream shake and then fade or up and unders, which LeBron already excels in. So why not play to your advantage instead of trying to play Steph's game or Durant's game,
Right. I completely agree with that. I think that he needs to stay consistent with the three when he's got it. But I feel like as LeBron is aging, he may be settling. Really what comes to mind for me was when he shot the game winner, the step back three. Like, dude, buckle down, drop your chin and go.
Yeah.
Had he gone in and that overtime game, who was that overtime game against? I don't know why it's losing me right now.
Well, it wasn't the Pelicans, was it?
No, but I mean, we all watched it. It's 1 p.m. It's too early in the morning for me right now. But they played strong. They took it in the paint. They finished well. LeBron was facilitating, and this would have been 3 games ago. And then at the end of the game, we had a chance to win it, and LeBron pulls a step back versus taking to the basket, getting fouled. He had just missed 2 foul shots, so I questioned maybe whether he was a little shaken for the fact he just missed back-to-back foul shots. So, not to over-speculate, but I would like to see LeBron back to the basket, like you're saying, as he ages and really mastering that 15-foot post game.
And doing what he can to still, you can pass out of the post. You can do what you need to do.
Right.
Like, it's not that hard. Another few other key players. You got Kyle Kuzma, 22 points. JaVale McGee with a solid 21. And Lonzo with 12.
Dude, I'm telling you. JaVale, 21 and 7. Yeah, Lonzo's 12. My boy Josh Hart, 12. He only shot 30% though.
Yeah.
But he had 12. Jonathan Williams, this is a guy that got cut, gave 12 minutes. He's playing. He's getting time. Now, when Wagner gets back, we'll probably see Jonathan Williams end up dropping off and not being part of the rotation. But we need to remember that. I mean, Wagner is a big player. Mm-hmm. He's got a deep stretch shot on him. I think that will he be, the answer to our post defensive, dreams? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But offensively, he will give us another shooter. He will stretch the paint. Where McGee is, if you're guarding McGee, you plop your ass right in the middle of the paint and you wait.
Yeah.
Right? Where with Wagner, he's going to be a stretch 4, even a stretch 5, to where it's going to really open up. LeBron, when Rondo's back, it's going to be a much, much different game. A situation we talked about, and I'm really starting to see it now more than ever, is we talked about it yesterday, Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
We agreed that LA, we kind of see them keeping one. Are you sold now that Kuzma's the guy?
He has to be.
So the play for BI, I mean, do you think that this is something where you start looking to package him up now? Or do we wait on it?
I let that jab, settle a little bit, and then
that's a great point.
Then try to send him somewhere.
That is a great point. It would almost seem like we're getting rid of him because he's a problem, which that's never been the case.
I'll wait till probably about trade deadline or the off season.
Right.
Send him up out of there.
So what I would see, and we talked about it, is a BI Caldwell Pope package. Mm-hmm. That could be something. It could be even like I'm not sure whether it'd be the fight club of the tag team of a B.I. Rondo. But I mean, truthfully, what level of player could let's say a B.I. Rondo, or not a B.I. Rondo, but a B.I. Caldwell Pope package get?
It's a great question. I'm going for somebody that's going to stretch the floor and that's going to really help LA long term. Mm-hmm. It would have to be a shooter to me. And I mean, Jimmy Butler is a great option. That's what you pointed out yesterday. I don't really know how I feel about putting Jimmy Butler with the Los Angeles Lakers at this point.
Well, especially with that many characters.
Yeah.
I could see that being a problem with the Lance Stephenson, with the Rondo, with the LeBron.
Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, if it was possible, I would try to shoot my shot at Paul George one more time just to see if a different system would help him out a little bit. But I just don't see the Thunder after they push so hard to get him.
I could see Paul George pushing for, a second or third year, get me out of here type of situation. A lot like what we're seeing a lot of players nowadays do is if they're not happy with their situation, even if they have a multi-year contract, they're pushing to get out one way or the other. So who knows? It's going to be interesting. I do want to mention Lance Stephenson. you look at he still shot 46% from the field, 2 for 3 from downtown. He has been one of our hot spots when it comes to deep three-point shooting. My question with him would be, Lance Stephenson, is this the Indiana Lance that we're seeing where he is now able to be him? Or are we going to see Charlotte Hornets Lance?
I do not want to see Charlotte Hornets Lance, not at all.
Me either.
I'm hoping that it is the Indiana Lance, back when he was playing with Roy Hibbert, ironically Paul George and them. They had Danny Green, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. I believe so, yeah.
It was a great team.
Yeah.
That almost beat LeBron.
It was an incredible team, and Lance was the leader.
Key part.
Yeah, he was leading this squad. When I watch Lance with LA, he's having a ball. He's having fun, man. He's no pun intended with ball and, having him. I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't either.
But Lance Stephenson, I think, if he continues to be allowed to be himself,
he's going to flourish.
He will flourish. He will flourish. He is our spark. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even talking about our off-the-bench second unit spark. I'm talking about our team spark.
That charisma that he brings, the excitement, the joy,
he
the
gets the crowd into it. He makes it fun. And again, you'll get Lance Stephenson mistakes. We saw him 3 games ago pass completely to the other team. Like literally turned and JaVale McGee'd it and passed to the other team. And that's going to happen. But if you have a Lance Stephenson shooting on average 50%, and right now about 40% from threes, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Have your Lance mistake every now and then, being goofy, being wild, blowing in ears, whatever it may be. But if you put up this type of production for a team that truly needs it,
every night,
man, I'm telling you, this is a much different conversation than we were having 4 days ago, when we were looking at an LA Laker team that was winless. Now, after beating, again, a very talented Nuggets team, do you feel LA is still that team that you have said you feel is going to be a 4th seed?
Yeah, definitely.
You do?
Any team with LeBron automatically off rip is going to do something, and that's in my honest opinion. But now all the pieces are starting to go to their appropriate places. They're starting to mesh a little bit better, and Magic's chessboard is looking like it's looking advantageous. So once again, kudos to Magic. I said it a lot even before the season started, that people are like holding their noses at LA, but because of how the pieces came together and what he picked and this, that, and the third. But we don't know what Magic has in store. Like, sure. I don't see him doing anything haphazardly. He's calculated.
Oh, yeah. And, let's be real. LA's already been fined for tampering. Magic Johnson knows every player that needs to be known in this league personally.
Yeah.
These players, they flock to him. They think that he is the end-all, be-all of basketball. Everyone loves him. Everyone loves him. Don't get it twisted if these players are not already in the mix of conversations.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what comes from it.
Most certainly, most certainly. Well, I know you said you wanted to talk about Kentucky a little bit tonight.
Well, with Kentucky and just going back to NCAA, I want to talk about early predictions. Duke specifically is a 4 seed, or the 4th team in the country right now. How do you feel about that? I feel like they had so much hype. And to be clear, let me just bring those up. We've got Kentucky at number 2. I believe it was Kansas at number 1. I believe UVA at 5. What are your thoughts on early rankings?
For one, I hate Duke. Duke should be like bottom of the barrel.
Show them your book. If you're on live right now, Alex has a book.
Y'all can see this. Duke sucks.
It's his book, Duke Sucks.
Yes. And I'm going to just read a brief excerpt on the back. It says,
please do.
In the ranks of college basketball, Duke is like something scraped off the bottom of a shoe. It's a nasty, and I'm going to say that again, it's a nasty virus you can catch from a door handle at a public toilet.
Ooh.
Duke sucks.
Yeah, so first of all, UVA should not be a top 5. Are you kidding me?
No.
After the embarrassment
Choke.
of the last actual important game that they played,
Choke.
UVA should be as barred from basketball right now as Louisville. Because I look at both actions on both teams to be all just disgusting. I'm sorry, but UVA, and people are probably getting mad that I'm so salty on UVA, but let me explain why. I had UVA winning it last year. Mm-hmm. I filled out my bracket, and I believed in UVA. And do you know how much crap I got when UVA literally broke records and went out in the very first round to a 16 seed?
I can only imagine.
Which that Baltimore team was fun to watch, though. The little guy, the little guard that looks like he was, like a freshman in high school that was just balling.
Demolishing everybody.
Oh, yeah. It was fun to watch. Duke, Kentucky here, coming up on the 6th, November 6th. Who you got? How much?
I hate Duke, so I'm just going to say Kentucky by 12.
I like that, to be honest with you. I was down in the Bahamas watching Kentucky up close. Went down there for a week to watch them play 4 games, and they were playing against pros. Mm-hmm. I mean, mind you, that these were professional teams. They were national teams. Not to get confused with people who say, well, Duke went to Canada. No. We're talking a different level of basketball teams altogether, and Kentucky mopped them.
Yeah.
Mopped them. And we're talking about a team, one of the teams that Kentucky mopped by, I think, 20 to 30 points, beat Michigan. To put that in perspective. So if I had to describe the teams that Kentucky were playing, they were probably mid-level SEC teams would be the comparative. Good teams. Not Tennessee good, but, probably top 25 teams. Mm-hmm. And
they were smacking them.
This is the best Kentucky team. I would be happy with this Kentucky team in March. Put it that way.
Okay.
And we're starting the season with that type of talent, that type of skill level. I think that the guard play is going to be phenomenal. I think Nick Richards is playing at a level that is going to put him as literally a contender for the best center in college basketball. I think Hero is going to be a phenom for Kentucky, not in a good way. It's almost going to be like a J.J. Redick style of hatred, because he has that clean look. He seems to have a little cockiness to him, a little flair to him, but the boy can just play. So I look for Kentucky not only to be a dominant force, I think that their secretive goal is to be a 40-0 team at the end of this year.
That'd be nice.
Right. Do I think that that's what we're looking at? No, I don't think you should. I think it would be it wouldn't be responsible for anyone to say, yeah, I think they're going to be a 40-0 team. But I do think that they're going to be up there. I think that they're going to be someone that we see in the Final Four, and that they will be the team to beat.
Okay.
So that's what I got, man. I look forward to it. I can't wait for college basketball to get rolling. And also, I know that we are rocking and rolling on Shoot the Shot Live. So we'll stick around after we end this episode and answer any questions, or love to hear any feedback. But, dude, good show, man.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. We'll see you Monday when we'll be back. We've got a weekend of basketball ahead of us, so we'll have a lot to talk about. We'll talk to you then.